Welcome to Bonus XP, the show after the show, where we talk about one more thought related to our main show on XP Gaming. MTB and I are excited to launch our new project. We have 2 episodes up right now, and I encourage you to go check them out. Today, I'd like to take a moment to talk about a thought that we had on episode 1. But before that, if you like what we're doing, please take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We have more and more content coming out every day, and we're excited to share it with you, interact with our community, and talk about the favorite games that we have. In XP Gaming Episode 1, we discussed what retail WoW could learn from Classic. We hit some interesting points, and in this episode of Bonus XP, I wanted to expand on one of our central points around community. Now, we talked about community and how it is really lacking in retail WoW. In retail WoW, you basically don't have to interact with anyone. It is a single-player game where the game will do things for you, like Dungeon Finder, World Quest Group Finder. You can fly around, so you don't need to have any help from anybody in the community or on your server. It doesn't really matter what server reputation is anymore because the servers are all joined together in some weird way. So you rarely, if ever, see the same player twice without intentionally seeking them out. And I really think that that really hurts the core purpose of an MMO. And so today, I'd like to expand on the already quite lengthy discussion that we had in our episode about community and talk a little bit about how Classic WoW can teach retail WoW a few things as they go to develop the next expansion soon. So the first thing is, what is community? We talked about community being a common purpose, players needing to get together for a mutual need to accomplish a task that the game throws at you. And they can do that through random questing groups where I am not powerful enough to kill this particular mob, so I need your help to kill it. They could do it through pickup groups for dungeons, which you actually need to talk to people inside of Classic WoW, sit in a capital city, and you just need to talk to them. And so I think in general, it's very important that community is in an MMO, otherwise you really just, you have no reason to play the game. One major change that retail WoW could make to improve community is in mob tagging. And you say, well, how is mob tagging really one of those things? Well, in retail WoW right now, mob tagging is really not something that you worry about. If you're questing in an area and you're competing for a quest mob, say you're looking to pick up, 5 of one item, when that item drops, that particular mob is going to give credit to anyone who kills it. And so as long as you get one hit on that mob before it's dead, you get credit and you get to pick up your item and then move on to the next thing. Now in Classic WoW, if you're going to be picking up or trying to kill a mob to get credit for a quest, you have to either be in a group of 5 people, a random group that you form while you're questing, or you need to be the first person to hit the mob and tag it. Now I think because of the scarcity of mobs and the long respawn timer, this really helps the Classic experience form impromptu community, which leads to a more fun experience for an MMO, because the reason we play MMOs is to have more of a community experience. We definitely love the adventure piece of it, but it is also fun to do that adventure with your friends or the people that you meet along the way. So questing is a big deal, and I think mob tagging is one central idea that retail WoW could change. And if they changed it, imagine an interaction in retail WoW. I'll give you 2 scenarios for how it goes today and how it could go in the future. Today, you get your world quest in retail WoW, you show up in a certain area, you have to collect 10 of one item to get credit for the world quest. You fly in on your mount, so getting there is an afterthought. Once you fly in, you drop down, you kill a bunch of stuff, you don't even look around, you don't care if the other faction's there, it doesn't really matter. And then you collect your 10 objects and then you move on. And I think what really that whole experience is, it happens automatically, you don't have to turn anything in, and you're just done and you don't even think about it. And so that content is not really that fun or engaging. In Classic WoW, that same experience would be flying to a flight point in a certain area, getting on your mount and running to a certain place, and then finding 4 or 5 other people doing the same quest that you're doing, but then having to talk to them, say, hey, let's all group together, form a group, and we can all do this together. And while you're doing it, you may even talk to them about, hey, how's the grind going? Do you have enough gold for whatever you want to buy, or are you having fun doing what you're doing? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you may make a friend. You throw that person on your friend list, invite them to your guild, whatever. But the whole point is that you actually talk to people, and the game gets to be a lot more interactive. I think that Retail WoW has really lost that, and it really has turned Retail WoW into a single-player game. And I think that if they can find a way to integrate that piece of something as simple as mob tagging back into the retail experience in a way that would not shock the current retail system and force people to talk to each other, that the player base would be a lot more sticky, and it wouldn't just play and rush through to max level, and then all of a sudden everyone unsubs 2 months after an expansion comes out. I don't know if Blizzard necessarily cares, but I would guess that the current metrics show that everybody buys the expansion, or a continuing decreasing number of people buy the expansion because I think the player base is shrinking, and then they all unsub 2 or 3 months in because there's nothing sticky to keep you in the game. There's nothing in the experience that you want to keep there. There's nothing to look forward to when you actually log back in, because most guilds are not needed beyond just a group of players that you may have played with for quite a long time. So that's the thought that I had. I think that Blizzard could actually benefit from doing something around the idea of mob tagging in the core gaming mechanic. Now, we talk about using community drivers for dungeon groups and for all the other types of things, raid groups, those things. And those are all important. But I think at a very core level that Blizzard could definitely do something to drive more community in the actual leveling experience in WoW. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms. The link will be in the description below. MTB and I are excited to bring you more content, so keep checking back on the channel every week and see what we got going on. Until next time, have fun and play your game.